Maybe the answer is you save money by not spending $70 up front, but you have to spend $500 or more for the console that you don't need first. Then you have to subscribe for $250 a year to play those games that you shouldn't buy because they're in a subscription service that you don't have unless you spend $500 to $600 for the console that you don't need.
Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and today we're going to go over to a continuation of the Satya Nadella announcement in regards to those games being Xbox first-party games heading to competing platforms, including, of course, PlayStation 5. Now, that being said, we have a lot to get to, so, of course, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I was saying, what we can do is get right to it here. I could probably make an anthology, if you will, in regards to the Salt just from this comment alone, but we're going to start here and we're going to lean into some other examples as well, but stay tuned for that. So the first one, again, as you stated or seen in the last one, if you did miss it, go check it out. But again, in regards to his annual letter to the shareholders, of course, but Mr. J, real simple here. Real simple, we'll move to the next one, but stop putting games on PlayStation. He just simply wants them to stop putting games on PlayStation because that doesn't bode well for him as an Xbox fan or a shill or a fanboy or whatever the case is. He doesn't want that to continue to happen. Pretty cut and dry, right? Obviously, as basic as you can get here. But as we continue on here, the great part about this is it just doesn't end. As you can see from Queen Bee Beelzebub, you are an idiot and a disgrace. MS should drop you, you idiot. Just want to kill MS Gaming and Xbox by gifting games to the competition while the competition actively keeps games away from your platform. You and idiot, tagging Phil Spencer here, should be fired. So, a lot of disdain for these two. Not only Satya, but of course Mr. Phil Spencer himself. The hate, is it warranted? Is it warranted? I mean, this just comes pure salt. I get it. You don't want your elusive, exclusive content for your platform at the very least to be heading to a, competing platform. But this is pretty telling here. Pretty upset, but, we'll sit on that for a minute. But we're going to keep going here because this just doesn't end here. So now, of course, we have another gentleman here, or lady, but odds are gentleman here. But please don't kill Xbox. He's begging. Xbox, is being something of a special place, an endearing place to this person. So he continues, you may be a genius as a businessman, but it seems you don't understand anything about gaming. Please. He's begging at this point. Please just stop. Please stop making money for yourself and the company and creating those high bonuses for yourself. Please just stop, he says. So, we'll see if they listen to this person. I mean, he's pleading. Satya, if you see this, Phil, if you see this, this gentleman is pleading, just stop. Just stop making money. I don't know what else to say to that. Just stop. Oh man, let's keep going here. It's not done. Abstract concept here, of course. Get your head straight regarding Xbox if you haven't already. The only real and existing fan base in any Microsoft product is on Xbox. You are alienating dozens of millions of the only people who are real MS fans. Now give this to Amy to cost/benefit, analyze it. Again, abstract, we go over this every single time on this channel. And you guys made your bed, and now you're going to lay in it. You should not have bit off and, latched onto that Game Pass model. You should have been buying your games, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. So you have no one to blame, yet again, but yourselves. What are we doing? Take a step back, look in the mirror. What did you do? Maybe, highly doubtful, but maybe, if you guys all in full force start buying your games and start leaning away from the Game Pass model that's the greatest value in gaming, right? If you lean away from that, you might give yourselves a little bit of a chance, as minute of a chance as that might be, but there you have it. So let's keep going here. Armando here. The Xbox brand is becoming one of the most irrelevant names in gaming, and it's because of everything you said in this letter. Myself and so many others are almost embarrassed to be the Xbox gamers in the recent year due to you seemingly abandoning us for rival platforms. And again, they're not abandoning you guys. You guys just are not buying those games. It's the same motif, right? You're not buying those games. And, it's not alienating anybody else. They're garnering more money. That's the idea of a business, something that PlayStation may do one day in the future, may have to shift. I mean, the industry changes all the time, but I'm not saying that they did the right thing, and I'm referring to Xbox here. I've stated this multiple times. Game Pass should not have been the end-all be-all. I never agreed with it. I knew it was going to harm the ecosystem. I knew eventually it would make itself so it's not as much of a competing platform to Sony or PlayStation, however you want to put that, in the future, right? And here we are at this point in time. If more games are going to continue to come to PlayStation, which they will, the less competition that's out there in a lot of different ways. And Nintendo, like I've explained multiple times, is in its own category. It does its own thing. It's not a direct competitor as far as specs, as far as first-party games, as far as anything like that. They're their own category. You know what you get with those guys. This is a problem. But again, you guys have to buy those games. You had to buy those, and there's just little chance that this is going to change, even if you change that direction now. So I don't know why people can't understand and wrap your head around it. If you've been a fan for a long time, I don't know what else to say there. So, but we'll continue here. Now, we're going to get to the good stuff here as far as COD, Call of Duty, right? Now, Anna Anson, it's been a minute since they've been featured, of course. We're shifting over to that, and they just want to put something up here. They say, hashtag Xbox has the king emoji versus PlayStation, laughing, crying emoji, of course. So we have Call of Duty Black Ops 6 versus that Astrobot game. And the crazy part here is I'm just so confused because they don't even bring up Game Pass. They don't bring up anything else. They're just bringing up Call of Duty 6 versus Astrobot. Astrobot having a much higher Metacritic, Astrobot being a very successful game. And the other portion of this is, what are we missing, folks? What are we missing? We'll give you a pause here. We are missing the fact that both of these games are available on your PlayStation 5 and not on Xbox, right? You can't play Astrobot on Xbox. You can only play it on PlayStation 5, whereas Call of Duty Black Ops 6, you can play on both platforms. Quite the L that they take and put their foot in their mouth, but they're just a troll account at this point. They're just saying anything to see what sticks on the wall and garner those follows. And as we continue off the foot of that, let me just place this here. This is just posted by Mads here, but COD Black Ops 6, Xbox first-party game runs better on PlayStation 5. Job well done, he states, but he's not wrong. I mean, a lot of the times, if you look on the Digital Foundry comparison, a lot of the times the frames are much higher on the PlayStation 5. And remember, right? This is the PlayStation 5 base model. This is not even the Pro at this point. This is the base model going up against Xbox's top tier model at this point in time, which is the Series X. Yes, you can say it's only 9 frames more, but it shouldn't be happening. This is technically an Xbox first-party game. Secondly, look at the differences here. You're going to get a much better value as a whole. If your specs are your thing, I mean, this is just a weird thing to look at, right? You're seeing a first-party Xbox game available on both platforms, but it performs better on the competing platform, in addition to other games coming to the competing platform, right? It's just something else, right? But let's keep going with the Call of Duty here. So now we have MacLeod, the real MacLeod, if you will. But Pony said it would get a 7. And he's talking about how Call of Duty was rated a 9 from IGN, but as you look down below, it's interesting how quick that tune changes, because not too long ago, you can't spell ignorant without IGN. And then in addition to that, IGN tagging them, out here spreading fake news, what a surprise. Then he continues again, tagging IGN. I don't think IGN should be considered a viable source for gaming news altogether. Bunch of uneducated clowns, well, except for Destin at least. What is going on here, folks? This is absolute insanity. Do you see how crazy their tune changes here? It just flip-flops, whatever narrative suits them. They're all to blame, even though we're all all of them are pro bono for Xbox, Brian Altano, to anybody else, Ryan McCaffrey. He doesn't even mention Ryan McCaffrey. It's all about Destin there. But of course, that tune changes. You love to see it. Insanity at its finest. The saltiness is absolutely there. So, you know what? We have to go ahead and do one more here. We're going to have to do one more here. What's great is we have Blaze. Blaze 305, I wanted to highlight this guy because this guy is at the peak of delusion. We might have to start featuring him more if he keeps coming across my timelines and such. But, of course, he tags Phil Spencer and Satya as well. Not too happy about the whole ordeal, but I just wanted to save this for last because I've had so many interactions with this moron. Stop ruining the Xbox platform and stop making everything multi-plat and learn the value of your exclusives. You literally lied to all your fans about Bethesda content being exclusive, which now it's not, but considering Xbox Studios 2, quit now. He's had enough, but recently he's been whining and stating how great Starfield is and all this and the other, right? But he sits there so upset. The tune changes. It doesn't depend on the day. It doesn't depend on what's being said. It depends on a conglomerate of things right now. You can see how flimsy their narratives are, how much the goalposts move, if they're happy with the side, if they're upset with the side, if they're happy with Satya and Phil one day, they're upset with them the next day. You know, it depends on what game's being announced. It's going to be great, but now they're always going to have that fear, is it coming to a competing platform? So you're going to see that bounce all over the place. That's what I love to see. That's what you love to see, I'm sure. And it just creates this unorthodox viewing, right, of a meltdown. It's just so intriguing to see. It really is. But that being said, that was the last of the post. However, one thing I wanted to share is one more video. We're talking about reviews. So on the back of reviews, we're talking about Xbox era here. Let's take a look at this video here.
A couple weeks ago, there was like this, I'm just gonna bring it up only a little bit. There's this target on us for a bit, right? We review games higher than most people. And the answer is yeah, generally we do review games more positively than other outlets. Why? Because A, a lot of us are volunteers who are only picking games we think we'd enjoy anyways. And B, we're not all friggin' jaded industry members that have been in the industry for 15, 20, 30 years that are playing it because they have to play it. We're playing it because we want to play it.
It's a tricky one, right? Like, we have to bear in mind that the main goal of a review, as always, and I've said this multiple times, is you find the voices you think align with what you like. Yes. And you listen to those.
Like, I wrote 5,000 words for Starfield, didn't matter, gave it too good a score. People yelled at me. I wrote, I think it was 2,000 words on why I didn't love Armored Core 6, didn't matter, got tons of death threats. I wrote 3,000 words on why I really enjoyed Redfall as someone who likes open world co-op games. Didn't matter, just got attacked nonstop relentlessly.
All right. I mean, the story writes itself, right? They're sitting there talking about how, you know, they give honest reviews. They're not jaded, this, that, and the other. It's like, guys, you gave Redfall a glowing review. You lost all credibility right then and there. It's simple. You lost all credibility right then and there. Kind of a laughing stock. I take that back. You are a giant laughing stock. I don't know what else to say to that, but action speaks louder than words, and we've seen all your reviews and how they are tip-top for Xbox first-party games and anything else you get your hands on that might be on PlayStation as well, or a PlayStation first-party game. It's interesting how you rate those so low, but again, you're not jaded. You don't have an agenda, but sure thing. Way to hold that credibility high. That being said, we'll wrap up the video here. Appreciate that. Those of you that have stuck around for quite a while in this video, made it to the end, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. If you haven't already, definitely leave a like and a comment. Would love to hear from you down below. Both those things do help out the algorithm, of course. In addition to that, if you haven't already, definitely consider subscribing. We are so close to that 2,500 subscriber goal. At the time of this recording, we are just over that 2,400 subscriber goal. So again, that main goal when I started the channel was 2.5K. So if we get past that, even better. I really feel good that we can make that. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much. And that being said, I just want you to all enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault Gaming video. And until then, take care.